Tim Burchett gives us some insight into the David Grush information skiff. Ross Coulthard's information gets scrubbed from Wikipedia. Gary Nolan gives us an update on the Soul Foundation and a lot more, so let's talk about it all. Get in here. It's time for another UFO News Roundup. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. So hit like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here is Tim Burchett giving us a little insight into what they discussed in the skiff.
And to kind of get to the bottom of that. And in the skiff, unfortunately, when they tell you stuff, it's secret. We're not allowed to talk about it. But I will say that it verified pretty much what I've stated in the past. And in the past, I've stated that Grush was credible, and that Grush had information. Well, it's a rectangular shaped room, and there was 16 at one time members of Congress in there. That's Democrats and Republicans. It's a very bipartisan issue. There's no sniping either side. And there's a gentleman there who was there to brief us. He's an attorney, and then there was two other attorneys with him. And then we were just asking questions about Grush, his credibility. My conclusion was that it's like looking down the barrel of a .22 rifle, man. It's very, very small. And these folks are very compartmentalized. And they do not talk about what they don't know. And they're very limited in what they know. Man, Grush, in his testimony, told us that people, in fact, had been threatened, and possibly there might have been some loss of life there. And that these craft have been obtained by our government, and that the biological entities or the life forms that were flying them have also been contained, I guess. Of course, I'm not satisfied. I'm wanting the answers, but what I was satisfied with was that new members were in there, and that folks were asking very good questions.
So there you go. People are asking good questions. More people are coming on board with this. Tim is still looking for answers, but he was satisfied that David Grush's claims had been confirmed. And then, although he can't talk about what he learned in this skiff, he does a sneaky thing here where he just goes over some of David Grush's claims. People have been threatened, assassinated. So those claims are seemingly now confirmed by Tim Burchett. There are UFOs in our possession, and we are trying to reverse engineer them. It is all highly compartmentalized, which is something we've been hearing going back to Bob Lazar and probably before. But Bob was talking about the tight compartmentalization that he was observing at S4 and how that was actually hindering progress on reverse engineering this stuff because, people didn't know what each other were doing. So it seems like we're getting some interesting information here, just confirming what David said, and that's enough for the moment. Although we really need to get access to these facilities and get, Tim needs to get his hands on a UFO. And here's a comment by Eric Burleson, very interesting. Representative Eric Burleson on whether UFO whistleblowers other than David Grush have met with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. I do know, I just can't speak to it. So frustrating. But yeah, it does seem like other whistleblowers are moving through the pipeline, so fingers crossed. Meanwhile, Gary Nolan gives us an update on the Soul Foundation presentation. We've all been eagerly awaiting that. He says, I think 7 of the videos are done. A couple more. The reason is pure mortal limitations, but 3 community editors stepped in and are doing a heroic job of it. Frankly, I didn't realize how complicated it is to get it done right. Well, Gary is getting it done right, and hopefully soon we will have the public version of the Soul presentation made available. Meanwhile, as you might have heard, someone edited Ross Coulthart's Wikipedia page, deleting all mentions of his awards and positive achievements, including references to Grush's initial interview. They replaced the content with critical commentary. The red text indicates the sections that were removed on the site. And there is the red text. That is all the stuff that was removed. So about the investigations and all the stuff, all the good stuff. A lot of it seems to have been removed. So very interesting, and there's a lot of speculation about who may have done that. Fortunately, according to a think tank, the changes to Ross Coulthard's Wikipedia page were all reverted today and returned, including the awards, and the page is now protected from Mick West and his sock puppet attacks. That's getting into the theories about who manipulated Ross's page. However, Mick West fires back at the accusations that he had anything to do with it. He says, "I have never edited that page, nor have I requested anyone else edit it. I could edit it as the protection is against unregistered and new users. I'm not planning to edit it." Okay, well, I'm not super mollified by that, but all right. Speaking of similar types of behavior, here's a post from Claus. Susan Gerbic, founder of the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia, created Lou Elizondo's Wikipedia page. This is an absolute scandal of organized character assassination attacking the people pushing for disclosure. And Ryan Graves actually comments on this. With U.A.P. being deemed a serious national security issue by DOD and Congress, coordinated manipulation of the public perception to diminish its seriousness isn't idle pastime. It's organized behavior that strives to maintain and expand a U.S. vulnerability. Might be worth bringing in some counterintelligence experts. I can advise if needed. So, and Gary Nolan says, agreed, Ryan. Yet we move forward. So is this an organized campaign to go after people like Lou and Ross to discredit them? Is that what's happening? Is this part of the cover-up, part of the disinformation? Well, there certainly seem to be some that are saying yes to that and that something needs to be done about it. Speaking of which, this is from Alex DeLarge. When you're using your sock puppet account to spread disinfo about Lou Elizondo, but you accidentally copy and paste the same text accidentally to the same person. And there's an example of the exact same tweet from two different accounts that apparently are sock puppet accounts of somebody. Meanwhile, on more positive news, Japan could become the 5th nation to successfully land on the lunar surface. Japan's SLIM mission has now touched on the moon. If this proves to have been a safe landing, Japan will become only the 5th country to land on the moon. SLIM has completed its descent to the lunar surface, and we are awaiting confirmation of whether the landing was a success. JAXA, Japan Space Agency, confirmed the landing at around 1520 GMT after a risky 20-minute descent. Mail Online will be bringing you the latest updates. All right, well, we eagerly look forward to the Daily Mail's next reporting on this, and good luck, Japan. Speaking of the moon, somebody else might already be there. Of course, I reported on this numerous times, as have many others, but here is a possible UFO shared by the think tank on the moon. Check that out. I definitely think there's something going on with the moon after having researched the various weirdnesses around the moon. Not to mention, various people that have said there are structures on the moon and that astronauts, saw stuff on the moon. But if you research the moon and the kind of the anomalies around the moon and the likelihood that it would be where it is, and providing the solar eclipses that it does. Okay, here's a closer look at it. Look at that crazy object. What is that? Is that a classic flying saucer on its edge? What is that thing coming out of it? That little light flickering thing. I don't know. I mean, it looks very saucer-like, doesn't it? Except for that little weird trail coming off of it, or whatever that is. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, I think there's stuff going on the moon, guys. Let me know what you think. Since some of that information about structures on the moon comes from NASA whistleblowers, what does NASA know about UFOs? What have they been hiding from us all these years? Well, this is an interesting example of I think this was a re-entry that was delayed because of
Defeat
UAP.
shield and
Delayed because of UAP activity.
heat shield anyway. The surveys were initially sparked by a mysterious object floating under the spacecraft yesterday. It was detected shortly after a routine check of the shuttle's steering jets. Now, since Columbia, NASA developed several tools and procedures to safeguard the shuttle while in space. NASA admits they may never know exactly what the unknown objects are, but confirms the shuttle is ready to handle the 3,000-degree temperatures it will meet as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere.
Over the years, we have chased many of these things, maybe not with the visibility that this one has gotten, and rarely, if ever, been able to pinpoint exactly where they came from, and always finding out that it didn't pose us any hazard.
So there you go. They had to wait for the UFOs to go away, or at least make sure it was safe for the shuttle to land. Obviously, this was some years ago, but a really intriguing incident. He says they have chased them. That's interesting. I wonder, I suppose that means by satellites, and they don't know, what they are, basically. Well, maybe they do, and maybe they don't. They've certainly been hiding this stuff from us for a long time, and the origins of NASA are very intriguing. Jack Parsons, an actual disciple of Aleister Crowley, one of the founders of NASA. Then, of course, peopled by the scientists from Germany back in the day who were apparently in touch with some ET beings through the Vril Society and actually receiving some communication or at least some technology from otherworldly beings. So from the get-go, NASA has been up to some funky stuff, and the people that founded it and composed it have been up to some funky stuff. And I would love to know what they actually know. Oh, and I thought this was really cool. I wanted to share it with you guys. It's very, very brief, but it's a demonstration about how Einstein thought about space and time and bending space and time. How do planets do that?
What Einstein said was this: if you don't have anything out in space, that's a flat space. If you were to take a planet, a ball, whatever it is, a rocket ship, and roll it, it would make a straight line in that space-time. Watch it up on the screen. I roll it, and it makes a straight line. But according to Einstein, if you go and have a star, that star will bend space-time in that extra dimension that you can't see. See, you can't see it bent up over there, but you can see it here. And that bent space-time, if you roll the ball, see, now it looks like it's going around and around that planet. So according to Einstein, there is no connection between the star and the planet. What you have is the star bending the fabric of space.
Pretty cool, right? Okay, here's something fun to end on. The time that a woman mysteriously disappeared behind Scarlett Johansson. And it actually turns out that woman is her mother. Okay, check it out.
Beautiful. Tell me what you're wearing tonight.
Valentino.
And what was the highlight of the evening for you tonight?
Philip Seymour Hoffman winning for Best Actor for a Drama. Very exciting.
I think.
What happened there? What went on there? I mean, it's got to be some sort of crazy optical illusion, right? But that is weird. That is weird. What? Okay, there's multiple reasons to like this video. I'll grant you.
Tell me what you're wearing
But
tonight.
still.
And what was the highlight of the evening for you tonight?
Philip Seymour Hoffman winning for Best Actor for a
She just
Drama.
vanished. She just vanished. And here she is on Fallon talking about it, and says that, and she says she has no idea what to make of it, but she does say that woman behind her is her mother. So crazy stuff. I don't know what to make of that. Probably just an optical illusion, but it is a fun video nonetheless. Let me know what you think about everything I've covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the like button. Join me on social media. Buy some merch, buy a coffee mug or a t-shirt to support the channel in the merch store, or become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.